think we should talk about
Invincible.
Invincible.
Excellent. Because, I'm always worried. I say this all the time, and I'm sure people are sick of hearing it, but I'm going to say it anyway because I like to say it. You're always worried going into a new season that it is not going to live up to the quality, especially the first season of Invincible, which was incredible. But man, I loved this first episode. It really did a good job of having Mark in a place that he should be after what all happened in season one. His mother kind of going through, things also. Adam Eve kind of off in the woods doing what, she said at the end of the season. And just all that is going on and what he is willing to do. And the villain. I love where they're going with the villain.
Who's
Yeah.
the villain?
Angstrom.
Who?
I when the minute I saw that was the direction they were going, I'm like, oh, Dave's gonna hate this. Because like everything else out right now, Invincible decided, hasn't been milked to death, the multiverse.
Yeah. I mean, he was trying to be good, in his own way.
I feel like what they did in one episode of Invincible is more than what Marvel has been able to do with because Angstrom is essentially the Invincible version of Kang.
Yeah.
That's
You're right.
more or less what it is. And I think in this one little episode, they were able to do more setup, develop their villain better. They kind of they didn't overdo the whole multiverse thing. It was like they used it, but they didn't rely too heavily on it, in my opinion.
No, it was a great plan. What he wanted to do, I thought, wow, that's actually, an interesting idea. He's a pacifist. He's trying to get all of this knowledge together, only because he wants to stop the Viltrumites, who, obviously, in his world, his universe, Mark teamed up with Omni Man and didn't, fight him and kind of get him away. And they were completely ravaged. And I mean, the heroes, what he did to Adam Eve. In that was, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You are a sick, sick man. I couldn't kill her. I just paralyzed her. I got people who will keep, and I'm like, wow, I can see why you picked with your dad. And then Omni-Man, like, is that what you were doing to the protesters the other day, practicing that? I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. He was this was premeditated.
That whole thing, that whole beginning, when I saw that, and it was always so extreme, I knew it couldn't be, our universe or whatever.
Right,
I thought it was a dream sequence or something. I didn't know at the time, but it was just as much intensity and gore as the first episode of last season, and things I didn't expect to happen, like taking what's his name, the dude who lives forever. They put him in charge. What's his name again?
Mr. Immortal.
Yeah.
Mr. Immortal. Thank you. When he took his head and he just smashed it, I'm like, what is going on here? And I thought, maybe didn't he already do something like this last season?
So what I thought at first when the episode started, I didn't realize that they were going directly into one of the alternate universes. When you saw Mark and the Immortal Man fighting, I thought, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe maybe this is like a training thing or something like that. That's what's happening. It's just he's training Mark because he's got to take the place of Omni-Man. Omni-Man's not around, and he wants to get him ready to basically be a good superhero. But then it was like, oh no, that's not what they are really fighting for real. Okay, and then it's like, that's what they're doing. Oh, all right.
Yeah, as soon as Omni-Man showed up, I was like, okay, this is definitely not the universe we are used to.
Yeah.
Right, and they were getting along, and you're like,
what
did I miss?
How do you like that propaganda video that kept playing over and over? I didn't see it right away, but I came around. It's like, what did he do to you, Mark? Like, what made you just like, I came around?
Don't worry, because I am.
Oh, you're right, Dad.
Invincible.
We should take over these.
Right. And Dave, oh my gosh, that was probably my favorite part of the entire episode. And they had to play that as a joke for the fans because it was something that everybody was talking about and kind of poking fun at um, in all of last season was how often they would cut to the main title screen every time somebody was about to mention Invincible's name. And then all of a sudden you think you're waiting for it because you know it's going to happen. And then they just like long pause Invincible. It's like, wait, what? Where's the title screen? What are you doing?
The first time they did it and they said the actual name, I was like, wait, did I miss the title screen?
Right.
And then they did it again. I'm like, oh, they think they're funny. Not funny.
Jeez.
You know, I love the fact that the Maulers were the ones who told Angstrom basically, hey, don't take that off. Don't cut it off. This is, going to be the end. They were actually almost the voice of reason. Of course, they did it for their own selfish reasons. They want to, we want to go to a world with no soups. We're going to be, gods or whatever.
And good food.
Yeah, good food. But it's like, don't do this, stop. And, Mark basically created this villain that's going to probably be the main villain by not stopping and understanding what was going on.
Kinda, sorta, yes, but Angstrom also did it to himself. So the part where he says he's a pacifist, on one hand, yes, that is true, but the other thing is he's also a narcissist and a liar. He believes, and at least in the comics, I assume they're going the same direction in the show, but he believes that he's the only one who's capable of saving the multiverse and saving his planet. That's why his plan involves getting all of his variants. I'm just going to use, a term that, even though it's from Marvel, it fits. He gets all of his variants and wants to download all of their knowledge, even though the Muller twins tell him, look, man, this has never been done before. This is going to mess you up. Are you sure you can handle it?
And I love that he used other variants of the Mauler twins.
Right.
In all the
Hey,
other universe. Did you use other versions of us?
I thought we were special. That was great.
He's
I like
Thanos
that.
King.
I like there's like a She-Hulk version of a Mauler.
Yeah, but I mean,
Wait, so
he
if he's
basically
Thanos
only
King,
wanted
would
all.
he be Thang?
What's that, Dave?
I just made a joke. I said if he was Thanos King, wouldn't he be Thang? Anyway, since they're combining those two characters, I mean, one is the multiverse and one has the knowledge, and he's the only one who can. He's the only one who can do what needs to be done.
Yeah, no, true. Only the greatest needs the greatest will. But I mean, his plan to save the Earth. I mean, he basically started out as wanting to do something good against the Viltrumites, and it ended up, we're going to see him being exactly what Doug said, the Kang version of the Invincible, which I'm sure they did this storyline because of what's going on with the MCU right now. They like to, parody this stuff. We even got, our own Luke Cage Power Man, Bulletproof, joining the Guardians of the Galaxy, or not, oh my God. What the hell's their team name?
The team. Or are you talking about the Guardians? Guardians.
The
Guardians of the Globe.
Guardians of the Globe, yes. We got Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Globe, and Guardians of Godolkin. Enough.
And we got the Cleveland Guardians.
Did you guys notice what suit Bulletproof was wearing?
No.
That was the one that the costume maker tried giving to Invincible the first time he went there. And he said, well, you can't blame him for trying to get rid of old merchandise.
I didn't notice that. That's hilarious.
He found someone to give it to.
Good for him. He didn't waste that material.
This show needs a cabbage guy.
My cabbages.
Yes.
But yeah, it is cool seeing him. I was wondering how they were going to work him into the series. No, you know what? I won't spoil this. I'll let you guys wait and see. But he is pretty important in the comics too. Bulletproof.
I assumed as much. They do a good job of all of the characters that they are blatant ripoffs of Marvel. And I shouldn't say ripoffs because they're doing it as satire and kind of, just kind of showing comics in general how they could be better. But they do such a good job of writing these Justice League ripoffs, the Marvel ripoffs. They do a wonderful job of writing them in and making them interesting characters in their own right. They're not there just to kind of like, hey,
And
do you guys know who this is?
murdering them.
Yes, yes, unfortunately, murdering them.
I don't think that's Dinky Man that's just said that last.
I think it is.
Really?
And it's not the Baller twins, it's the Mauler, Mauler, Mauler twins. He that's his favorite joke.
Oh,
We won't repeat it on a thing.
I wonder where he got it.
His sister.
Oh, huh?
I'm raising such upstanding young kids. Thank you so much.
I am going to mail you guys a bunch of brand new energy drinks addressed to Sully. They just released a Ghostbusters energy drink, and it's tangerine Slimer flavored. So make sure that I send you plenty. Have him drink them before the stream.
Yeah, right before bed.
Yeah, I was gonna say every night he's like, "Can I have a Mountain Dew?" Bedtime's in 10 minutes. So, okay.
I heard you talking about this other guy you used to work with. He used to give his kids Mountain Dew at 9 o'clock at night. I remember you talking about it.
And later,
Yeah.
dude, they would bounce off the walls. It was like nerve wracking. I would just be like, "Do you not are your kids trained?" I don't know a good way to put this, but like, do you need to, like, I don't know, corral them into a cage or something?
You just gotta wait for the sugar to wear off.
They seem like wild animals.
Big mistake.
Yes, well, that our ex coworker made a lot of mistakes like that.
Yes,
Much
but your
like
kids are wonderful.
well, most of the time, yes, they're pretty good kids.
They're watching, remember?
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. I try. Much like Omni Man tried to raise Mark right.
do you also tell your kid, think, so think?
Sometimes, you have to. And I was kind of shocked too that we only got one episode because normally Amazon Prime drops multiple episodes. Now, I'm sure they want to, keep people subscribed for the entire
They want
8
that water
weeks of
cooler
the
moment.
show. But I mean, it was nice. This episode stood on its own quite nicely, and it's interesting where, having not read the comics yet, eventually I'm going to read them, just because if they're as good as the show, I need to add that. But
They are.
so many different ways they can go. We got so much going on. Obviously, we got our main villain set up, but we have, issues with the Guardians of the Globe. I won't say issues, but they're not up to par. They're not up to snuff. And now Mr. Immortal is going to be taking over the leadership. Rudy is struggling with being in the field. So there's a lot going on, and I want to see. I want Adam Eve to come back soon.
I guess I don't fully get why he's doing that. Like, I understand that he gave himself like a body, but what is preventing him from still remote piloting the robot suits? It seemed better when he had a bunch of available robot suits that he could, send out into battle.
He wanted the thrill of being in the battle, I think.
He's bad at it though.
No, I know he definitely is. I was like, oh boy, he's getting crushed, and then Monster Girl ended up saving him. But I was like, man, these Guardians of the Globe are in disarray and definitely need Mark, and Mark isn't in the best place, mentally for all of this. And I love the fact that it's not just new season, everything's great, let's start over. It's carrying over, and we get the same.
Yeah. There are repercussions from the previous season.
Yeah, especially Mark, questioning if he could have saved more people in his fight with Omni-Man, and everyone's trying to reassure him, hey, it's not your fault, but
I like the bully
himself.
coming up and giving him a hug. Giving him the old amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, I know you're doing this because I am too. You're living a lie, so am I.
But Oh my gosh. Every single time throughout this episode, every time they left us hanging with that. Oh, look, is that Invincible? Again?
And they
And I
finally
think
did it at the end.
the worst one was like
Yeah.
towards the end when Rex explode with that long pause. I'm like, still. But yeah, wasn't it like when the Mauler, when the last remaining Mauler was like, boy, he really is. And then they finally did the title screen right at the end, which by the way, how did you like that it still carried over with all the blood from the previous season, and
That's
then
what I was
so
gonna
much
say.
so that it just went to black.
Yeah. They're just
That
gonna
was
keep making
nuts.
it bloodier and bloodier, and eventually you won't be able to see it.
Well, now there was also a little crack in the screen. I wonder if that's what they're going to do with this season because they've ran out of room for blood. Are they now going to add new cracks in the screen every new episode?
Probably. I think that makes the most sense.
Sierra goes, "Hey, that's awesome. What's awesome?"
She said
Uh,
brass monkey, and I said that funky monkey.
Oh,
If
okay.
you're familiar with the Beastie Boys song of that name.
I think that came out the year Doug was born.
85?
Oh, nope, 84.
Huh.
Yep. I spent a lot of time listening to the Beastie Boys back then.
Hmm.
As did
I
I.
am familiar with them, and they are pretty good.
They are no
Pretty
more.
good. Dare you, sir?
Sorry. They are no more. It's like this parrot is no more.
Trying to think if there's anything else that we need to talk about for Invincible.
I think we've pretty
Stay
much
tuned, man.
covered
It was only
everything.
Oh,
it
I
was
know one more
actually a
thing.
48-minute
Oh,
episode.
what?
Playing Karma Police by Radiohead
Oh,
when he was kind of saving, doing his hero thing in the morning. I thought that was so amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. Good choice.
Oh, it really it made you feel for him too. Because he's just flying around doing his rounds trying to help here and there, but he's not like stopping to like do the whole superhero thing like, "Oh, thanks, Invincible." He's just like helping people and taking off.
This is
Because
what you
almost
get when you
he's
mess it
guilty.
up.
He's guilty and he thinks that this is what I need to do to make up for what my dad did.
He knows with great power comes great responsibility.
Oh,
Oh,
this
wait,
reminds me.
wrong universe.
This reminds me of Smallville episode 1 of season 5, when there you go. In season 4, Clark destroys basically Metropolis, and he feels guilty about it, and he has to come back and clean up the town.
Let's see. You guys should
Spiderhead.
watch Spiderhead. I don't
What
know
is
what that
Spiderhead?
is.
I don't know either.
Dope movie on Netflix.
Okay, I have to look it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll add it to my
Gotta check out
list.
Spiderhead. Have you guys watched Kate yet? That's a good one.
What's that?
Mary Elizabeth Winstead on it's on Netflix, where she plays like a John Wick type character.
Oh,
Great.
okay.
Yeah, really good.
Have to add that to my list too.
Do it. Do it now.
Well, it's getting late. I don't think we have enough time to jump into the Echo trailer and or Doom Patrol.
No, we are kind of running out of time. Yeah.
And it feels
Um,
later than it is with, fall
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Before we close out, then, do you guys want to give a quick premiere of Invincible rating? Like, what did you think so far?
Sure.
All right.
Go ahead.
Well, this is a lot different than at this point what the comic books did. So they are doing something different, which I appreciate. Now, that does not mean that this didn't come from the story, from the stories in the comics. It's just this happens later on. But they decided to bring it earlier. I think Keith is correct. I think it's because they're seeing, oh well, the other comic book universes are doing a multiverse. We can do it better. And I think it also was like we don't want to burn out the whole Omni-Man thing. So
Mhm.
I think it was a good idea the direction that they went. And they're also doing something different with Amber than what they did in the comics. So even if you've read the comics before, they're doing just enough with the show that it's, not only is it just good, even if you've read the comics, but it's also they're changing up just enough to make it interesting where you can't always guess where it's going to go. And I will say the animation has improved a little bit. The background art is still a little funky, but that's a nitpick that not many people are going to pick up on. But I did notice the sort of 3D flash style art that they use for the background buildings was still it could be better, but I know that it goes by in such a flash that most people aren't going to notice anyway. But the story, really good. The introduction of the villain, excellent. Um, Picking up where they left off from season one, just really, really good. I'm excited. And you know what? The long running joke this episode with when they were going to introduce the title card, yeah, it did make me chuckle. I'm going to give this premiere episode, I think I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Interesting.
It was pretty darn good, but it leaves some room for improvement.
Nice. Who do you
Dave?
want? Okay, I'll go next. Um, yeah, like I said, when it started, it gave me the first feeling, the first episode, season one vibe, how violent it was right off the bat, and I was like, I thought I missed something. I'm glad. They pretty much opened the whole season with the multiverse
Mhm.
because you did not know that was the multiverse until we got to what's his name again? What's
Angstrom?
his name? Angstrom.
Yeah.
And you know, the way they have Angstrom in there is he's a pacifist. He's you can almost see his point of view. He's one of those villains that you know, you can understand him. And I always like
It's
that
like
in
you
the show.
put it, like he's like Thanos in a way.
Yeah, you can understand him. He has
Hmm.
his motivations and to him they're valid. And he's gonna do what he has to do. So, but you know, I wasn't completely blown away. I'm gonna go ahead and not overrate it and get back to my normal self. So I was thinking 8 at first because I was so drawn into the show, but I think I'm going to downgrade to a 7.5 um, because I maybe it's because I didn't get a chance to view it again and it didn't stick with me. But I think maybe if I watched it again, maybe it would rate up higher. I will watch it again before it comes out, before the second one comes out. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick with a 7.5 right now.
All right.
What do you think, Keith?
Yeah, I mean, I was drawn in from the moment it started, especially with the kind of twist with showing us that different version, the different universe of Mark and his dad teaming up and what's going on. And I think how they handled the introduction of this villain was great. He had a plan to help, and it went horribly awry. And now he's going to be basically the big bad of all of this. And the way they handled all of the fallout from last season, bringing it in, and how it's affected the characters and how it is still affecting the characters, I thought was great. And, the show just does such a wonderful job of having very complex characters at every level. Even like I was saying, even the blatant ripoffs of heroes from other universes, they're there to kind of be like, kind of a joke almost, like, hey, this is like the Power Man of our universe. But they're still good characters and they're still deep and they're not just one dimensional. And I think the writers do a really good job of every character having their own sort of persona, their strengths, their weaknesses, and it really shows. And this was, in my opinion, a great first episode to draw us back in and start us down that road for the rest of the season. So I think I'm going to give it an 8.8 because, I mean, I was watching it and I was just completely drawn in, and that always says a lot to me. Like it's like sometimes I'll be watching a show and I'll be like checking my phone and oh, did I miss something? I better rewind it. But for this, it was like there's nothing but me and my TV right now, And I love that Invincible has always been able to immerse me in that way. So, definitely an 8.8. I hope that the quality continues for the rest of season 2, but I think with their track record it should. So, I'm excited.
Hey fellow nerds, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of this stuff, make sure that you check out our Twitch stream. We try to do these live Sunday or Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Keep an eye on our social media to find out when you can join in live and chat with us during these live streams. Also, as usual, don't forget to check out our other social media. Add us at Twitter, comment down below, and we'll see you next time right here on Not Your Status Quo.